All right, well, prosecutors are now saying that Washington, D.C. Mayor Vincent Gray had detailed knowledge about an illegal fundraising operation that helped him capture the 2010 election. At a court hearing Monday, prosecutors alleged that Gray knew about a conspiracy to pump more than $660,000 of illegal donations into his campaign. However, campaign election laws forbid contributions of more than $25,000 by a person. This is all coming to light after a leading D.C. businessman, Jeffrey Thompson, pleaded guilty yesterday to supporting a shadow campaign when Gray was a candidate. So what does this all mean for the mayor of the city, just weeks before he goes up for re-election in the Democratic primary? I was joined earlier by Reverend Graylin Hagler, senior pastor at Plymouth Congregational, and Wilmer Leon, a professor at Howard University and host of Inside the Issues. I started by asking the Reverend about what happened to have brought this revelation to the forefront.
Well, I think that what happened was a number of things. I mean, one was obviously some clandestine missteps. That was one thing. I think the other thing also had to do with the business power structure in Washington, D.C. wanted to make sure that the previous mayor stayed in power, Adrian Fenty. And when that didn't happen and he lost, I think it was a matter of folks turning up the legal guns and trying to examine to see if there was an Achilles heel in this administration.
And Wilmer, what do we know at this point about what the mayor may have known about this money coming in?
Well, the answer to that depends on who you believe.
Right.
If you believe Mr. Thompson and what has been reported in terms of the court proceedings, a dinner was held where he met with, at the time, council member Vincent Gray, and they came to an understanding that Jeffrey Thompson would provide thousands of dollars to Vincent Gray's campaign and for benefits to be named later. But if you believe now Mayor Gray, then he says that he had no idea that any of this was going on, which the election, I think, now becomes a matter of who do you believe.
Right.
And the voters will make that determination in very short order.
I mean, and what do you think? Because he is saying right now that, you know, he had no idea, although it seems a little odd that you wouldn't know that $660,000 was funneled in. I mean, what do you think about that? I mean, do you buy the argument?
I mean, the issue is, I mean, I think we need to approach it this way. There's been a culture in Washington, D.C. politics where you pay to play. That has not just been with this administration, but it's been with previous administrations, so forth and so on. I was just commenting to some folks today that whenever big business comes to town, they take one or two lobbyists who has access to every single council member. If folks from the community want to have impact on something, we have to organize hundreds of people in order to put the political pressure on those elected officials to listen to the community, because there's always been this culture. And what has happened is that it didn't start with Gray, and unless there is some radical reformation, it won't end with Gray either.
And I want to talk a little bit more about that. I want to read something that U.S. Attorney Ronald C. Machen Jr. had to say about this in the aftermath. He said, Jeff Thompson's guilty plea pulls back the curtain to expose widespread corruption. His plea gives the citizens of D.C. an inside look at the underground, off-the-books schemes that have corrupted election after election, year after year. So beyond, you know, just Gray's campaign, Jeffrey Thompson apparently, you know, spent $800,000 in support of 7 other candidates, which is incredible to think about. So this is, I mean, can you speak to that? I mean, this is not just an issue about Vincent Gray. This, you know, speaking to a larger issue at hand.
Well, I think if you look at the Citizens United case and the impact that that's having nationally in terms of the money that's going into our election process, you look at the Koch brothers and the billions of dollars that they've poured into the electorate, that has definitely made it much more difficult for the one man, one vote democratic process that's supposed to operate in this country to be effective. And one has to wonder how a Supreme Court could determine that a corporation is a person and that corporations can because I always thought that that was what a corporation was not supposed to be, and that that just allows unfettered access into polluting our political system. And so Washington D.C. is just a microcosm.
Right.
It's just a very small example.
Another example of that. Do you agree with that?
Oh, I agree with that very much. I mean, the reality is, if you really wanted to reform campaign contributions and therefore illegally directing a campaign, you would do something radical. You would do something radical. You wouldn't allow for PACs to be set up that can do unlimited spending. I mean, one of the things I said all along, and I got attacked for it, was that I'd be willing to say that anybody can give as much they want to a campaign. The difference is it enters into a common pool, and those who make the ballot, that money is split with evenly, and no new money can come into the race. Nobody wants to do that because the argument was it takes away the citizenship of corporations.
And we don't like sharing. We don't like sharing money here. But Reverend, how much do you think this is really setting back the residents of D.C., particularly considering they don't have, much national representation? How difficult is it for them?
It's a terrible time and a terrible place for this to happen. One of the things is that we've been facing real pressure from gentrification going on in the city. People have been removed from neighborhoods. Churches have been removed from neighborhoods. Unfortunately, because of the pay-to-play culture, there's been no political leadership that wanted to stand up and say, halt, stop it, because basically the money was flowing in, and they were content with the money flowing in, both legally and illegally. And the issue is we still are facing those issues, so it's a real setback. And when we look at the landscape of candidates who may be left in this race, it is pitiful. There is not a whole lot there in terms of choices.
And Wilmer, lastly, what happened yesterday? Is that the final nail in the coffin for Vincent Gray?
No. Ron Machen isn't done. He said very clearly yesterday, I'm not finished yet.
He did say it's the tip of the iceberg.
He did say that. And whether that means just within the D.C. political sphere, or whether that means, when they've talked about Thompson contributing to the Hillary Clinton campaign, if this is going to spread nationally, we have yet to see. But Ron Machen isn't done. And again, I can't say whether Vincent Gray knew this or did not know this, but I can say that his response just doesn't pass the laugh test.
All right, well, time will tell. We'll find out soon. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining me. Reverend Graylin Hagler, Senior Pastor at Plymouth Congregational, and Wilmer Leon, Professor at Howard University. Thank you.
Thank you.